Hey, what's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to another pick a card reading. This is going to be a reading for the month of June, year 2025. As always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and remember, I always end my readings on a positive note. So, with that said, let's pick a card. This is Rainbow Moon. Alright, so before you are 4 different decks, each with 4 different crystals on them, and each of these decks basically represent their own reading. If you've never done a pick a card reading before, basically how it works is you choose a deck based on your intuition. What is intuition? I like to think of it as an instinct. There is no logic involved in instinct. It's all based on pure feeling. So which of these decks are you drawn to most? Which of these crystals are you drawn to most? Usually it pops out to you immediately, so I would trust your gut on this and go with the first one. If you're drawn to multiple decks, that's totally fine. That just means that there's multiple messages for you in multiple decks, so feel free to watch as many as you want, as many as you're drawn to. And for those of you who like to choose by crystals, I'll go ahead and introduce the decks and the crystals now. So from left to right on your screen. First, deck 1 features the yellow obsidian. Deck 2 features the indigo obsidian. Deck 3 features the amazonite. And deck 4 features the beautiful goldstone. Alright, if you need more time, feel free to pause this video, take as much time as you need, but if you already know, then go down into this video's description, and there will be 4 different time codes aligned to each deck. So feel free to click on the time code once you know. And let's get into it. Get comfortable, go brew some tea, whatever you gotta do, and I'll see you at your reading. What's up, deck number 1? Welcome, welcome. So if you chose deck number 1, remember you chose the deck with the yellow obsidian on it. It's one of my favorite crystals that I own. I love looking at it. It reminds me of the crystal, I guess, from that kids show Dragon Tales, if anyone can relate to that, if anyone's a zillennial. I'm 28, so that kind of shows my age, but that's okay. So we're going to start out with some traditional tarot here and some clarifier cards. Happy June to everyone. Happy Pride to all of you that celebrate. All of you that don't, that's fine too. All right, let's see what you got. We have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, the Lovers, 9 of Cups, the Moon in reverse, and Temperance in reverse. Interesting. A lot of big energies already. A lot of energy upside down, which is a vibe. Get some clarifier cards too. Let's see what we got. Solar plexus. Stuck. Mountains. Throat chakra. Clearing. Interesting, interesting. So, your June 2025, definitely involving lots of large energies. Some big changes internally and potentially externally. Right away, with this Wheel of Fortune, your whole life might have been feeling kind of upside down, like you don't really feel a purpose in your life at this moment. You might be struggling with a sense of self with this solar plexus clarifier here. You might be having some sort of identity crisis, like you're kind of lost in life and you don't know where you fit into things at the moment, which is fair. You know, I mean, the state of the world right now is very uncertain, more uncertain than usual. And it's kind of hard to know where you fit in all of that, But for you, it's definitely affecting your sense of self and your confidence every day. You might be feeling super low energy, which I totally get, Again, it's just a really difficult time to exist right now and find your place in everything. So it makes sense why you might feel like you don't really know where you're headed, You might be experiencing some bad luck, maybe some stomach issues physically here and there. If your solar plexus is all out of whack, that can definitely bring some health issues in that area. Definitely some anxiety. Yeah, I mean, it's not a good feeling to not know where you stand in life, Like you might feel like you're just on a rocky foundation, something that wasn't established in your life for a while might feel like you're walking on eggshells, or it's a rocky road now when it used to be smooth, And that can apply for career, that can apply for relationships, which brings us to a good transition for this Lover's card here. So there are definitely, relationships in your life that seem like they're in alignment. Both parties are, contributing necessary components. The energy feels good, but it's mixed with this stuck card here, which kind of makes me think of like, more of a toxic relationship, a relationship that might seem okay on the surface, but it's really not underneath, and it's not pushing you forward in life, So it could be a relationship that is the reason you feel stuck right now in life, and you feel like you've lost your passion, you've lost your fire in a way. Again, you don't really know where you're headed. So maybe it's a relationship where you can't really imagine a future with this person. Again, whether it's romance or whether it's career. But I feel like you've been in this relationship for a while because you conceive this relationship as meant to be, potentially. It's been seemingly harmonious up until this point, but I feel like the universe definitely wants you to analyze it now and consider that it might be pushing you back in some aspects of your life, which is never the most fun thing to hear, but you never know really what another person's intentions might be underneath, So it could be some sort of warning that the rug might be pulled under you regarding relationships. Maybe you aren't experiencing a, passionless life right now, a sense of no direction right now until this person kind of gives you an obstruction and becomes a wall to you and your desires, or just a wall in general that you never saw coming, because again, you might not know where you're going at this point. But I think now would be a good time to analyze all of your relationships, kind of see what might be pulling you back without you knowing it, Try to relate it to how you're feeling stuck in life right now, how you kind of don't know your direction, It kind of reminds me of the saying that you always want to surround yourself with people that are chasing bigger things. I kind of like to word it like that, because I don't like the wording where it's like surround yourself with people that are better than you, like I don't think we should be in competition with our friends, but we should definitely be surrounding ourselves with people that are chasing goals and dreams and trying to advance their life in whatever it might be, just trying to move forward positively. So there might be people in your life that are holding you back and you haven't realized it. So I think, definitely think about who these people might be in your life and how it's related to how you're feeling stuck. Maybe these people take little jabs at you here and there and kind of like try to destroy your character with like little comments and everything, which subconsciously is kind of tearing down your confidence. It's like, who are the people in your life that build you up, and who are the people in your life that tear you down? It might be time to, cut ties with some people if they're connected to this feeling of feeling stuck in your life and not really knowing who you are. Maybe these people are kind of muddying your waters in a way and kind of making the path forward feel unclear and obstructing your view of your life moving forward, and kind of filling you with these shadows that really at the end of the day are their own shadows, but you might have taken them on your own and thought that, you are this person, you are this insert adjective, but you're really not. Only you know who you really are at the end of the day. And, on that note, only you know where you should move forward in life. So it feels like there are a bunch of external things that might be affecting your, day-to-day sense of direction. But at the end of the day, it's an internal issue, I would argue. So it's going to take some self-analyzation. And again, it might be tied to some people in your life. So definitely something to look at. Then we have this Nine of Cups here, which it might feel like you're getting everything that you're meant to get. Like you might have all your wishes fulfilled, all of your desires. You might feel satisfied and content, like everything's perfect. But I feel like with this Mountains card underneath it, like that didn't really come easy. Like maybe you're at a point where you've accomplished many, many things. You've climbed many, many mountains and reached many peaks, but this sense of contentment might have become a toxicity for you, where now, because you feel like you've accomplished so much, you might not feel like you know where you're going now. Like maybe you are just tired and are just, almost using it as an excuse to not move forward. Like, I've done so much in the past, so I just want to kind of enjoy the moment now, which is definitely valid, but you are dealing with this sense of stuckness and this, sense of self. And maybe it could be even something like you want to create a new sense of self. You want to create a new self, and all of these mountains you climbed in the past, they make you feel content, but you kind of want to do something different. You kind of want to evolve to a new self in a way, and maybe not even chase a mountain. Maybe go to the beach, maybe go to the desert, like search an entirely new terrain almost. But I feel like there may be some sort of sense of dishonesty with yourself, and that kind of connects again to what I was saying about your sense of direction, which I think is always an internal issue, so we do have the moon here in reverse, mixed with the throat chakra. So I think to heal this sort of situation, this loss of direction and this loss of confidence, it's going to take some honesty with yourself. It's going to require you to speak actual words into the universe, whether that is words to yourself or words to this person, to these people that are holding you back. Maybe this environment is holding you back. Maybe you just don't like feeling like everything is so easy anymore, and you want to chase a newer goal that might be more something difficult, a level of difficulty that you've never faced in your life, which is a scary but fun thing to go into, but I feel like there will be some great payoff. But there's definitely some imbalances here, obviously, with this Temperance in reverse. There might be an excess of something. You might feel like it's too much of a risk to go outside your comfort zone here, go outside the norm that you've been experiencing for so long that has been making you feel stuck. Maybe saying goodbye to these people is a little difficult for you. But I am getting this sense of ignoring your calling with this moon in reverse. I'm just looking at this imagery of, the dogs howling and barking at the moon, which to me is, their deeper calling, their calling that they are aware of inside themselves, because the moon is basically your relationship with yourself. So to me, that's what's really upside down. And to me, that's what's the foundation of this issue that you may be facing. And again, I think it's rooted in this imbalance with yourself and things around you. There's this need for clearing, whether that may be clearing of your space, like physically clearing your space, things that might be cluttering your mind. That sense of stuckness might have, manifested physically, and you physically have to clean your space, which I've been there. But it could also be a clearing of these people around you, or the situation around you, this environment around you that you're now realizing is sort of toxic in a way. But yeah, I think a lot of it lies within communication. There's a lot of blue in these cards, actually. So I feel like you are someone that does like to speak your mind, or used to at least, and there's something you're not speaking out into the universe that you definitely need to. And I feel like that could be rooted in your inner calling. I feel like this has been something that's kind of been weighing on you inside for a while, and you've just kind of been ignoring it because you might have been people pleasing these people in your life. You might not have realized that these people are holding you back into this, new person that you could become, achieving this new goal you have for yourself, or manifesting this version of yourself that you envision. You might not realize that these people are holding you back and you're going against their wind, So you've definitely accomplished a lot. Again, you've climbed many mountains and, sailed across some treacherous oceans too. I feel like you're definitely a strong person emotionally, but you definitely need to do some clearing, and I think the clearing does lie within communication. So there's some things you need to be telling yourself, telling other people, that hopefully will come out in June. You have the possibility of them coming out in June. I think the universe wants you to. So take this as a sign to kind of chase your inner calling again, and feel like that's what's really out of alignment. And that's why you're kind of losing this sense of self, losing your confidence, losing your direction in life, because there's things that you're not saying. You're not speaking from the heart, perhaps, and you're letting a lot of things that don't really matter to these deeper desires you have within you bog you down, that need to be cleared. So if you burn sage, definitely burn more of it. Burn it daily. Start your day with that, if that's what you like to do. If not, get some selenite. It's a beautiful crystal for cleansing as well. Get acupuncture. That could help, but there's definitely some internal work that needs to go on here too. So I would suggest taking a bath and kind of asking yourself what things need to be said, what things need to be said to yourself, what things need to be said to these other people. Because again, you've been ignoring your deeper calling here, I think, and there's a lot of imbalances here, and I think there's been some injustices too. So you might need to speak about that. But yeah, at the end of the day, again, it's up to you to take back yourself in a way. And these other people, yes, they could be actually affecting you, but at the end of the day, there's a part of you that are letting them do that, but now that you're aware of it, you have power over it, you can speak your minds. I definitely think you are someone that has spoke your mind in the past, so now it's time to step up to the plate yet again and through doing this, I think you will find a new sense of identity, a new sense of self, some more confidence in your life, and as well some direction, and you'll probably feel like your life is going in the right place. But I think a lot of it does lie within honesty, you know. So work on your throat, work on your solar plexus. Yellows and blues are all over your reading, you know, so wear those colors, go to the ocean, gaze at the sky, get some sun, eat foods that are those colors. Honestly, this yellow obsidian is a perfect crystal for you because it does help with clearing the solar plexus and kind of grounding that energy, taking away the toxicity within the chakra. So definitely suggest some yellow obsidian, you know, get that, the dragon tails crystal. I love it so much. But yeah, definitely clear some things out of your life. I think there's things that you're just making too much space for, and you're not making enough space for yourself here. So June is a big opportunity for some cleansing, for some clearing, so you can gain some clarity, some rebalancing, and find that confidence within yourself and realign with your sense of direction. And then you'll be back on track, and then you can climb even more mountains and accomplish even more things that you thought you never could, you know. You don't have to be content in life. I feel like deep down you want to climb another mountain, you know, or you thought you were done, but you're really not. So, but you can handle it. I believe in you. All right, so let's get some angel cards. So now we're going to move into the final portion of your reading. So I'm going to draw some oracle cards. Think of it as a message from however you like to think of it, your higher self, ancestors, spirit guides, spirit tribe, animal spirit, whatever it might be. Sorry, I'm so bad at picking up these cards. Okay, so first, let's get a beautiful animal spirit to help you out here. This is my favorite deck of all time. I think animals can help us so much in life, their guidance that they give us, what they mean. Let's see what animal pops out for you. Beautiful, thank you. Let's get an angel message here. And again, you don't have to think of this as an angel. You can think of it just as a message from the universe. Let's get one angel message, please. Thanks. All right. Let's get a moon message here too. Ooh, that was fast. Love it. And let's get a frequency card too. The Teal Swan frequency deck, one of my favorites. Slippery cards though. Ooh, thank you. And let's get another guide card too, just for fun. Just do all the fun ones, right? I have so many decks, might as well use them. Ooh, we got 2 guide cards, lucky you. And why not get one more? Threads of Fate deck. Oops, oh, lots of energy. Threads of Fate going. Don't worry, I'll organize these cards to make them all look pretty. Oh, you got 3 Threads of Fate cards. Wow, so many cards. Let's see. Oh, you got the turtle. Beautiful. Comfort. The answers you need are coming. Moving forward, 38. Inner child. Beautiful. Leadership. Holy Spirit. A bunch of these. You got the warrior, nature, patience. See, yeah, you can see that. Beautiful. Okay. So yeah, the turtle already, I mean, it's giving that earth energy. The turtle shell is a collection of all its experiences, so that could be a message coming through that this is just another experience that will be under your belt. So kind of a reminder to treat this as a lesson in your life. Like, yes, it might be difficult, but it's a necessary difficulty. While it might feel like things are not moving, they are still. Think of a turtle, it moves slowly, but it moves consistently, and it does eventually get to its destination, and it does beat the rabbit in the race, So maybe you're comparing yourself to the rabbits, potentially. They're going so fast, but they're so sporadic and they get so distracted. So just maintain your speed here. Everything is moving into place perfectly. And remember your past experiences as well. They can help guide you in this moment. It might be a good idea to analyze your past, use those past experiences for clarity in the present or the future right now for June. Yeah, beautiful. And earth energy too, that might help healing you, getting out into the world, getting into nature, grounding yourself as well. Like, I feel like you might kind of feel like you're up in the clouds right now, floating about, not really grounded to anything, connecting it back to that Wheel of Fortune energy in reverse, where you're kind of just directionless, It's like, you kind of have to have a destination to be going somewhere. So it might be as simple as that. As soon as you have that figured out, then you can start moving towards it. But little by little, you'll get to your goal. You don't have to reach the goal immediately. I think definitely need to hear that. And then comfort, interesting. Archangel Azrael, I am with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. So maybe in the past you dealt with that as well. Someone hurt your heart hurt, might still be hurting. Find ways to comfort yourself. This card doesn't mean that you should expect comfort, but I do feel like dealing with these issues, these internal issues I was discussing, will bring you comfort. Actually saying the things that you're supposed to say will bring you comfort, even though it might bring discomfort while you're doing them. It's going to be worth all the comfort that you get out of it. And ultimately, that's what's going to manifest for you once you kind of deal with those foundational issues. And the answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. So I feel like once you ask, you will receive. Maybe there's some things that you're frightened to ask, but you will get the answer you're looking for. And even if, the question you're asking is a no, or it's just no answer, like, no answer still is an answer. So keep that in mind. But either way, clarity is incoming in June, so that's beautiful. Full moon is a culmination of energy, so everything's going to reach its peak, I think, in June. And, I think, again, this Gemini is making me think that it does rely on these relationships. So I think some of these relationships are going to reach this culmination and really change in June as well. But by proxy, you're going to change too. And the universe definitely wants you to move forward with this moving forward card, and once you take that first step, it creates transformation. That's why this card is this beautiful rainbow. I don't know if 38 means anything to you. But treat that as a sign if it does. And yeah, it really is creation. Every step forward is creation. And kind of, again, connects with this turtle. Like, it almost looks the same physically to me. This right foot and this turtle are kind of skewing to the right way. So I think there's a connection there. Remember, you are a collection of your experiences. With every step, you're creating a new experience in life. And again, remember to treat this as a lesson. Don't treat this as an obstruction. Treat this as something that you will overcome, no matter how difficult it might be. Comfort is on the other side. The answers you need are coming. And Imagination inner child is a beautiful one too. Like maybe this is all rooted in some sort of creative passion of yours, something that you like to do as a child that maybe you repressed for so long, and maybe the people in your life are kind of blocking that access to your inner child. Maybe this passion you have of yours is rooted in a passion you had way back then, and at some point your wings were cut off, whether it was by yourself or whether it was by other people, but now they have an opportunity to grow again, and the universe wants you to chase that dream that you once had and channel your imagination, even use your imagination for this situation in a way. Like imagine the future you want. I think that's a good way to kind of go about this situation. Imagine what that future looks like physically and envision it in your mind. That's a powerful way to manifest. But I definitely think channeling your inner child again is a great way to heal the situation too. Like if you're kind of at a loss for what direction to move forward, come from that space. What would you do as a child if there was nothing to worry about and no one to cut off your wings? If you could just soar beautifully in the sky to wherever you wanted, where would that be? And step forward from that point. This leadership position too, Holy Spirit. I'm not particularly religious, even though this is kind of a religiously rooted deck. Nonetheless, they have it's still combined with this leadership. So I do feel like you're someone that helps other people, and that might give you energy as well. So, you're someone that kind of carries the beacon for others and leads others away from their darkness into the light. That's something that comes naturally to you. And I think that's one of your gifts. So again, if you're kind of interested in analyzing how to move forward, how to find that direction moving forward, channel that as well. Along with your inner child, channel how you are a natural born leader. And this might be your wake-up call that this is the way to move forward in life, is to become a leader and to help others and to guide others and take those experiences that you have in your pocket, all those mountains you climbed and all those peaks you reached, and use that to help others. Like the turtle, you collect all those experiences, all those mountains, and you can use those lessons you learned to help others. So remember just to treat this as another lesson. If you are religious, I think this Holy Spirit energy in this card is kind of telling you to ask that higher power, if that's how you choose to, do that. I would just call it the universe. To me, at the end of the day, it's an internal thing. So to me, it just kind of alludes to the fact and reinforces the fact that you need to have a conversation with yourself, a conversation with the divine, whatever that looks like for you. And then we have the warrior, remember your strength, remember your tools, what tools come naturally to you, remember to use that. And, you're a powerful person, but it might take some initiation. There's some Aries energy in this for me. So change takes initiation. Remember that. Nothing will change if you don't change anything yourself. If you keep things the same way that they are and always do the same thing over and over the same way, you can't expect anything to change. So at the end of the day, it's in your palms, it's in your grasp, it's your foot that needs to move forward. You might want to connect with nature. We have this nature card here too, and we have the patience here as well, mixed with the turtle. Like we would only have 2 turtles here, so it's even double that message. So I feel like I just have to say it again. Remember that you just want to move forward. You want to know where you're going, because without that, where would you be going? You need to, as you're taking these steps forward, it's important to have a destination, because if not, you're just walking aimlessly, which kind of goes back into that wheel of fortune in reverse. So have patience. Just make sure you're always moving forward. step by step, and it's okay. Remember the turtle. Remember that the turtle always wins the race because it takes consistent steps forward instead of sporadic steps, like the rabbit. So be the turtle, not the rabbit, and reconnect with nature. Maybe that's where you're going to find these epiphanies, you got this card for a reason, so beautiful. All right, well, I'm going to leave it at that. I really hope this helped. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want a personal reading, feel free to use the contact in the description. I am offering them right now. Basically, the way they work is I'll send you a video and a picture of the spread if you want to go deeper, and then you get to keep that video and the picture forever. So if that's something that resonates with you, we can go even deeper. Just hit me up. But yeah, I hope this all works out for you, and I think it will. I hope this resonated with you. And yeah, thank you so much. I'll see you next time. This has been Rainbow Moon. What's up, deck number 2? Welcome, welcome. Remember, if you chose deck number 2, you chose the deck with the indigo obsidian, which is one of my favorite crystals. I just love indigo so much. This is one of my favorite ones to look at and carry around with me. So we already have something in common. All right. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to start with some traditional tarot here with this deck, and I'll get some clarifier cards, and then to end it, we're going to do some oracles. So, all right, it's going to be fun. Happy June to everyone. Happy Pride for those of you that celebrate. Beautiful. All right, let's see what we got. We have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. We have Death in reverse. We have the Tower in reverse. Four of Pentacles in reverse. King of Wands in reverse. Interesting. And we'll get some clarifier cards too. The Chaos card. Gaslighting. Winter. Heart chakra. Validation. Interesting. Well, there's definitely a lot of energy in the month of June for you, and a lot of breakthroughs. I mean, there's just a lot going on here. So let's get into it. So first we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse here, which to me kind of signifies a loss of purpose, feeling directionless in life, not really knowing what the future holds, maybe feeling like you're getting bad luck. Just feeling lost in general. And it's mixed with this Chaos card too, so you might feel like it's hard to breathe with how much you have to deal with. It's like there's so many things pulling you in so many different directions. It's kind of hard to even focus on yourself. Maybe you're just drowning in everything that you're experiencing. And I can understand feeling lost in life right now and feeling like it's hard to find direction because the world is just so uncertain right now. There's so much going on. The planet's foundation is a little rocky right now, so I can understand anyone dealing with a sense of directionless, which has been something that has been appearing in other people's readings too. So I feel like you should know that you're not the only one, but you specifically are dealing with lots of chaos. And this doesn't have to just mean external, it could also mean internal. Externally, I think it could mean a hyperfixation on everything that's going on in the world, feeling like you don't really know what to believe, what's true, so you may choose to just detach completely. Internally, you might just be dealing with so many thoughts and changes within yourself that it's hard to kind of center yourself in it in a way. It's so interesting because these two cards look the same too. There's like this circle right in the middle. and then everything else around it is just chaos, like everything is kind of out of whack for you. Your emotions are out of whack. You might not know what you're passionate about anymore. You might be overcome with ideas just bouncing in your head left and right. And you might have a rocky foundation in your life too. Like you may be dealing with money struggles. Your job might have ended. You don't know where your career is going. You might have to move even. So there's just so much chaos in so many different areas in your life. So I really feel for you, but we're going to get you some clarity here for sure. So one card that's definitely sticking out is this Death card in reverse here, which you don't really see it in reverse that often. Usually it's a good thing when it's upright, even though it's the Death card, because that means things are ending, but also things are beginning. But when it's in reverse, it's almost like a resistance to change. So this is something that might be of your own demise in a way. Like you might be causing your own suffering here. There may be something that you don't want to end. There's something in your life that is giving you this chaos externally, therefore giving you internal chaos, and it really needs to end, but there's something about it you're avoiding, So if it's external, it might be something like you don't want to end a job, you don't want to leave a certain social situation, whether it's family or friends, you don't want to leave a partner. But internally, it turns into something like you don't really want to believe certain truths about yourself. You're avoiding truths about yourself. You're avoiding harsh lessons that you need to learn. You don't want to listen to other people. You don't want to listen to yourself. You're kind of staying in the same path that you've been walking this whole time, and you're almost walking backwards, even though it might seem like you're staying in the same place. You are walking backwards, and in fact, I think that this could also be creating your own chaos as well, staying in this external situation or not admitting certain truths within yourself. This is connected with gaslighting as well in this reading, which externally could mean you're being lied to, or you're being kind of, you're under a spell by people. They're not validating your reality. To me, that's what gaslighting means, is people are making you feel a false sense of reality, where reality is a certain way, but people are telling you it's not. So this almost makes me feel like it's more on the external side. So people might be lying to you, people might be feeding you lies in order to manipulate you. You are being potentially manipulated by some people, or by a situation. But it seems like this chaos might not be completely your own demise, by your own demise. It's really a harsh thing to deal with, I think, when your reality is not being validated. And that, of course, causes chaos, because you don't feel like you're living in your own shoes. You feel like someone else is walking every step for you. And I think there's some things that definitely need to come crumbling down. Some relationships that might need to be cut out, some mentalities that need to be cut out. I think you're really realizing that in June, that this situation is just coming to a point where you cannot deal with this chaos anymore. It's affecting your sense of direction. It's affecting your sense of self. It's affecting your path forward and your forward momentum in life to your goals, dreams, and desires. And you're being lied to some extent. You're being misled into this chaos, I think. Whether it's by yourself or other people or a situation, so beware that something you may have walked into or something you're dealing with now was not the healthiest of decisions. And in fact, now it's causing this chaos in your life and this loss of direction and this bad luck even too. Like you may actually be experiencing bad luck, but there's a deeper meaning behind it. And I think, again, it's because you're being manipulated by some nefarious forces out there. But then you have this Tower in reverse, which is definitely an interesting card, especially right after this Death card, because you are having some sort of breakthrough in June too. I mean, it could be kind of scary to change for sure, but I think, you need to, at the end of the day. You need to transform yourself personally, and it's scary to do that. I think you've built yourself up on this sort of a situation, and you've been walking this path for so long that it might be hard to say goodbye to it. But I think you need to realize that it's just causing so much chaos and suffering where you don't really need to. And there's also this winter card here too. So whether this might have started in winter, I think it might be ending in June, either that, or if you decide to leave this situation, you might fully reap the benefits in winter. Or it might just feel like if you do leave this situation, you'll be left with nothing. Like maybe you are getting some sort of, false sense of security, false sense of fulfillment, false sense of love in this situation. It's almost like a toxic relationship, where they do give you moments of serotonin, moments of happiness, but at what cost? You're sacrificing yourself, and you don't really have a direction. You're kind of just being led by other people and being bamboozled by other people. So of course, by living this situation, it's going to feel barren and feel cold and feel alone, but what you get by that emptiness is a sense of fulfillment again. By doing that, you're going to be reconnected to the divine, reconnected to your emotions, to your emotional self, to your internal self, which I feel like you've been putting on the back burner for so long. So it's a necessary change. It obviously is scary to, leave a situation that's been so long coming, that's been so well established in your life, that you thought was bringing you what you wanted for so long. But I think it's going to come to a breaking point here in June. And it's just going to come to a point where you just can't deal with it anymore. It's unfortunate that some of us deal with those sort of situations, but at a certain point, you have to choose yourself over the situation, I do think it's inevitable at the end of the day. This tower will come crumbling down one day, and maybe it's best that you're not in the tower when it's happening. Maybe you know that this situation is destined to fail, and it's going to get really ugly, so it's best that you leave now before it gets even uglier, before you come spiraling down with the tower too. But I get how it's scary, and it could be painful as well. But I do feel like it's a necessary pain to, again, find that sense of direction again, and sense of purpose in life, and sense of self. You're being so manipulated by this situation and by these people. And while it might feel cold and barren when you're alone and not in this situation anymore, not getting those little moments of serotonin from the situation, at least you don't have the chaos anymore. Because the chaos is what really eats away at your soul. And even though you might be alone, you still have yourself. And I think you're really going to be forced to kind of reanalyze yourself and find, just retouch with yourself, touch back in with yourself, and realize who you are, what you're about, realize the sense of peace you haven't felt in so long. And even though it's cold and you're alone, it's better than the chaos that you were experiencing. And it's definitely going to reconnect you back with divine, and it's going to create all these new neural pathways I'm seeing, these new forms of thought that you never were really aware of. It's going to create new growth within yourself, your mind, and your heart, and it's going to be worth it. So I urge you to leave this toxic situation. You're being gaslit, you're being lied to, you're being manipulated. So get out of that tower before it gets too ugly. And then we have this Four of Pentacles in reverse, which again, I feel like you have an instinct to protect yourself, which obviously is valid. But I feel like it's almost the remnants of this situation. You're grasping on to what you have when you do leave this situation, and there might be, remnants coming from it that affect you. People trying to come back into your life, take what's yours, take your foundation, and you're kind of holding tightly onto that. And it might be rooted financially as well. Like, it could be a big financial decision to leave this burning tower in your life. Ultimately, it's a good one. Ultimately, it's necessary to build new growth and build a healthier new life, new lifestyle, new future for yourself that's actually aligned with you and your heart. But you could overdo it in a way where you're kind of holding too closely onto your money. You're over analyzing that. You're grasping too hard where it's starting to hurt. Your grip is too intense, and it's starting to cause discomfort, So I think the way to remedy that is rooted in your heart with this heart chakra card here. Definitely something you need to tap into in June after you leave this situation, because that's really what you're going to be accessing again. Your heart has been distorted from this entire situation, and I really feel for you, because in the chaos it's hard to come back to that center of yourself, and the heart really is our center. And so remember to give yourself self-love and grace during this period. I feel like there's going to be a lot of those kind of mentalities and a lot of those jabs still coming in from the situation here and there. And again, this has been a long time coming, so it's hard to completely relearn how to deal with yourself, how to deal with life after this situation. But give yourself grace. Make sure you love yourself. Appreciate yourself for getting out of this situation. Be proud of yourself. Don't let your heart get out of whack after you leave the situation. Ultimately, leaving the situation is to protect your heart. But it's going to be, it's going to come with some difficulty. It might affect your work or your home, your finances, something like that. And you may have to struggle for a bit. And it may be, rocky foundation, like your whole world's really going upside down with this. But definitely search for the places that you do have love in your life, and lean on them, because I think they're ultimately gonna help you in this situation. And then you have the King of Wands right at the end, which is pretty cool. So you're really in a place of power at the end of this situation. You chose love in this situation and not hate, which is beautiful, a beautiful way to end up. So you're kind of looking back on this situation with a new passion in life, and you're in a position of power now towards the end of this situation in June. And you're looking back and realizing that you made the right decision, and you're completely validated with this validation card. You have a sense of accomplishment. You made the right decision in this too. You might be leading others out of it too. You might have such a grasp on that past situation that you might be helping others to escape the same tower before it comes crumbling down. Your vision is clear here too. You kind of know where you're going. You might be kind of figuring out that financial situation and remedying it, making it aligned again, and even building your own business, moving into your own apartment, making your finances solo, not attached to someone else, and taking bold action as well. Like, you really are coming out of this in like the complete opposite place that you came from before. Like, you're going from a place of complete chaos and complete directionless to a place of power, sitting on your throne, looking back at the situation and having a very solid foundation financially and physically in your life too. But definitely a big message coming through is, work on your heart during this situation. Like, it's going to require you to heal your heart, I think, to get to that position of power. So don't ignore yourself and your own needs, emotional needs, spiritual needs during this situation, physical needs too. Like, you might have to call in some loved ones to help you out financially, or stay at a certain person's place during this, so don't feel guilty to reach out to these people and seek help. Ultimately, it's a form of self-love by seeking help from others, because you're humble enough to know that you need the help. And I think that's very mature. But again, you need to heal your heart in order to get to this position of power where you can look back and even help others and be this natural born leader that you're meant to be. And you're also going to walk out of it with a new sense of passion. Like, you now have this direction. This is a huge lesson in your life, leaving this situation. And you're not going to let yourself get gaslit again, too. And these are tools that are going to be coming in handy for the rest of your life. So you're definitely making the right decision here, because you're going to end up in such an amazing place. You'll be completely validated by your, in some way, whether that's your self-validation or validation from others. You're going to be validated by the situation. Maybe it's just the way the situation plays out. Because while you're in it, again, this chaos might be kind of clouding your mind in a way. And again, it's hard to see direction. It's hard to see what's right. It might be at this point where when you're listening to this, you're only able to see the bad, see the wrong, see where this is all going wrong. But you will be validated at the end. You will come out on the other end of this in the right place. So if you're looking for a sign or a message to finally say goodbye to this situation, or say goodbye to these people, or say goodbye to this mentality in life, whatever it is that's bogging you down and causing chaos and gaslighting you and making you distrust your reality and giving you no direction and confusion in life, say goodbye to it. This is it. This is the time. This is the sign to finally leave this. And the universe wants you to know that it's going to be okay on the other side. Again, you might feel lonely, it might feel cold, but you're planting so many seeds for the future. And this is only the beginning of this newfound power you have for yourself at the end of June as well. It's only the beginning. But again, it might be rocky at first, but it's going to be the right decision for yourself. So make sure you heal your heart during this situation. Go on walks, eat anything that's good for your heart, eat lots of green, go into nature, surround yourself with green. Even the King of Wands here is literally wearing a green cowl. I don't know if that's what you call it. And there's even green leaves that are coming out of this wand that he's holding. So, and he's only holding one wand too. So this is only first of many victories I think you have for yourself. And these leaves are just beginning to grow. So it signifies new growth. And you could be building an entire new life for yourself from this situation that you maybe couldn't even have imagined. But just by taking the bold action, the bold step to get out of this toxic situation, to leave this burning tower, is going to leave you in such a beautiful place where you're standing in your power and you have a solid foundation physically and emotionally, and you're completely validated. So take the leap. I urge you. It's going to be okay. Just make sure you heal your heart during it and really lean on the people that can help you. All right, so I'm going to do some oracle cards now. Let's finish off the reading. Just some extra little messages. You can think of this as a message from your guides, message from your spirit tribe, ancestors, higher self, or the universe, however you want. I don't judge. All right, first I'm going to get a card from my animal spirit deck. Let's see what animal pops out for you that can help you in June. Beautiful. Gonna get frequency deck, Teal Swan frequency deck. See what frequency can help you. Beautiful. Get one of my angel cards. Again, you don't have to think of this as an actual angel. Whoa. 2 popped out for you. Lucky you. Get another guide card. There we go. And I'll get a Thread of Fate card. Why not? Got it. Oh, and then, of course, we got to do a moon card. Oh, these are just popping out. All right, let's organize these a bit. So let's see what you got. First from the animal deck, we have the shark. Then we have a moon card. Look at the bigger picture. Frequency deck, Teal Swan, frequency deck. Expansion in reverse, 46 in reverse. See a guide card. Discontent, muses. Interesting. Threads of Fate, the wilding. And then we have some angel cards too. We got 2 that popped up for you. Victory and Nurture. Interesting. Excuse me. Well, some of these cards definitely relate to the main reading. One, you have the shark here, which is not the most fun animal energy that there is, but a necessary message nonetheless, which usually relates to feeling anxiety, which definitely connects to, you know, your main reading and what you're feeling in this tower situation. And the shark is kind of just signifying that there's this looming, negative, dangerous energy underneath the situation at all times. It's probably the thing that's on your mind most throughout the day. So kind of just reinforces the fact that this situation, this tower situation, is really affecting you, and it is what's causing the chaos in all areas of your life right now. So it's definitely prominent in your day-to-day, and it's something that you're thinking about all the time. And it's also affecting your emotions since we have the water element. But there's this dangerous energy to it as well. So I feel like it might be affecting your sense of security potentially. Like it might be a job loss. This relationship you might have gotten some positive things for too, and now you won't. It's not a good energy to have looming and coloring your entire life, you know. So we have the shark looking to this moon card saying, look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius. So in June, there's definitely going to be this bigger culmination, bigger realization. Everything's going to kind of bottle to the surface, and it's going to come to a point where you can't handle it anymore, and you're almost forced to look at the bigger picture. But it does have this beautiful Sagittarius energy in it, so you will be thinking of a higher potential with it, a new way to achieve something in the future, a new goal filled with passion. So that kind of seems like a remedy for this situation, to channel your passions and imagine a better life for yourself. And, you know, the key is to look objectively here. You're looking subjectively with this shark energy. You're only really noticing the situation at hand in this tower situation. But the universe wants you to look at the bigger picture here. Look at what could happen if you get rid of this in your life, or look at what this has been doing to your life overall. Like, look back into the past and really analyze how this situation has been coloring your life. And I think that's what's going to really give you the clarity on the situation. Like, you might be so in the rut with this that you're only able to really focus on the day-to-day, but you need to look objectively at this because it's really adding this chaos to all these aspects of your life and, again, impeding your process forward. So, which again goes hand in hand with this expansion card, which usually upright is a beautiful card filled with this beautiful rainbow energy, which to me represents potential and transformation. But when it's upside down, it's the opposite. So again, you're kind of becoming your own worst enemy here, and the situation is causing you to stagnate in life and causing you, a blockage in your path forward. So you're not growing here. Your growth is not, it's just not happening. You're not watering the soil with under your foundation. So nothing's really growing. It's just staying this unwatered, dry soil that's not ever going to change unless you start watering it. So figure out how to start watering that soil so it can start grow again. And it might have to be stepping away from this tower. And it's also causing this energy of discontentment here, coincided with muses, which is interesting. So there's definitely some aspect of things you're passionate about. Maybe it's become such a toxic situation because this is a dream job, or this is a dream person, this is a dream situation for you, but it just becomes so toxic that you literally cannot withstand it anymore, and it is impeding your process. Maybe in the beginning of this, when it was first manifesting, it felt correct because it was coinciding with your muses, with your passions in life, what you're striving for to create in this life. But now it's causing discontent. Now it's not actually fulfilling that aspect of you. So it's time to walk away. But I think it could coincide, especially, the color here. I'm seeing this beautiful pinkish, healing, almost coral kind of color, really pretty. I think the way to heal is also with this nurture card here, which is a similar color. I think you need to nurture this passion of yours, which I think might be one of the original reasons that you even got into this situation, is because it was aligned with your passions and your muses. It was something that inspired you. But now it's become toxic and you have to step away. But a way to recenter yourself is to, again, look at the bigger picture here, analyze what that passion was. It might lie within your inner child as well. The nurture card here says, as you nurture a child, you nurture your own inner child. Both activities are important for you right now. Yeah, so big energy of nurturing your inner child. Maybe that passion was something that you were first inspired with when you were a child. So go back to that moment, go back to the why you did this, and then realize that when you leave this toxic situation, it's going to leave new energy here. Victory. Your prayers have been heard and answered. Have faith. So I think you will ultimately get what you're supposed to here with this victory card. The universe is conspiring in your favor, but I think it's going to take some fighting with this wilding threads of fate card as well. You might have to draw your sword in this situation, and it might get ugly a little bit, but victory is on the other side. So don't have fear when you're finally ending this toxic situation and walking away from this burning tower. And I think the positive thing to hold on to is to remember that muse that you first loved as a child. Or if the situation is about your child or a child, do it for them. Realize that you are doing this for someone else, and that's a way to heal the situation as well. But yeah, look at the picture. Maybe it isn't about you. Maybe it is about this child. That is, if that resonates with you. But if it's more of an interpersonal issue to yourself, again, nurture your own inner child here and go back to that moment where you first had this passion that kind of got you into this situation. You know, even though you're going to lose this tower that you're in, this environment that has been causing so much chaos, you're gonna come out on the other end victorious, and you're gonna be able to nurture this muse by looking at the bigger picture, chasing your dreams, goals, and desires. And again, victory is foretold. But once you lose what's weighing you down, we can turn this expansion card upside down, and then we have this beautiful rainbow energy here, this beautiful potential that's waiting for you on the other side, this transformation. So yeah, June is going to be quite a big month for you, but I have faith in you. The universe has faith in you as well. So trust in the universe that it's conspiring in your favor. Excuse me. Trust in the universe that it's conspiring in your favor when you leave this toxic situation and leave this burning tower. Leave it sooner rather than later, because it is burning down as we speak. You are dodging a bullet, and have faith in yourself and have faith in the universe, you know? Awesome. Welp, I hope this resonated with you. And if you like the way I read, feel free to hit me up for a private reading. We can go even deeper with this. If you give me more information on the situation, I can get more specific answers for you. So if that's something that resonates with you, then hit me up. I'll have my contact in the video description somewhere. And please like, comment, and subscribe. The interaction is what keeps this channel going, so you can still get free readings, so I really appreciate that. And thank you so much. I wish you the best of luck in this situation, and I know it's all going to work out, so thank you for tuning in. This has been Rainbow Moon. What's up, Deck 3? Welcome to your reading. Alright, so remember, if you chose Deck 3, you chose the deck here with the little Amazonite crystal on it. Such a pretty crystal, reminds me of the ocean. Alright, so the way this is going to work is I'm going to start with some traditional tarot here with some clarifying cards as well. And then we're going to go on to some oracle cards too, just so we can end it on a positive note. Let's get some shuffling going. Happy June, happy Pride to those of you who celebrate, if you're in the US. Get another shuffle too. Beautiful. All right, let's see what you got. We have the Fool in reverse. We have the Moon, the Chariot, Six of Swords, King of Wands in reverse. Interesting. Let's get some clarifying cards too. We have Containers with the Fool. We have Your Story with the Moon. Surrender with the Chariot. Autumn with the Six of Swords. And Future with King of Wands. Interesting. All right, so first thing that pops out to me is this Fool over here. It's an interesting card to have reversed, because usually the Fool upright is all about new beginnings and kind of having an innocent mind in a new situation, like a free-spirited individual and traveling and potential. But in reverse, it's about kind of holding back, unable to move forward, and kind of recklessness as well, mixed with this Containers card here too. So it seems like there's something holding you back from beginning your journey in June, and it might have to do with something about organization. putting everything in its perfect little place. There might be some delays to starting a new journey because you need to kind of plan a bunch of things, tiny little details that make up a bigger picture. I'm getting this might be about writing a story, writing a book, writing a screenplay, creating something. It doesn't have to be writing, but I'm getting a sense of creation here because there's a lot of internal energy here, especially with the moon. There's something holding you back from beginning this longer journey that you kind of know that you need to go on, but kind of being held back by having such a weight on needing to organize everything and make it perfect almost. It's almost like maybe you don't want to move forward because not everything's perfect, not everything's in its perfect little place, you know? And what you are trying to move forward is telling your story. It's, you know, up to you kind of where you're going next, I think. And you're kind of having these internal battles with yourself right now. But I think you're eventually going to kind of release that and release the fear and gain a little more clarity. But I think maybe it'll take some, you know, detail-oriented action here. There may be some things that you need to prepare before you go on this journey. You have to get all your little details all perfect and dot your I's, cross your T's before you go on. You know, you're definitely a perfectionist type, I'm getting. And you have something to say. You have something to bring to the world that comes within you. So you feel like that you need to feel perfect in yourself in order to move forward. You know this journey is destined by the universe. And I think you know it's something necessary in your life. It's a part of your story. It's a chapter in your story. So it's a necessary thing to move forward with. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things you feel like you need to figure out before you can finally set off on this next chapter. So definitely type A sort of person, right brain sort of person. And forgive me if I'm getting that wrong. What I basically mean is you're more of the analytical type. You're a planner. You like everything to kind of be perfect. But life is not perfect. And sometimes when you get the calling, the perfect time to go is right then and there when you have the inspiration, you know. When inspiration comes, it's kind of fleeting. So it's best to catch it right in the moment when it happens. I think there's definitely going to be some internal dialogue that you're going to be having with yourself about this. Maybe it's some emotional things that you need to figure out in yourself before you're even ready for this. Maybe it's like showing a vulnerable side of yourself to the world, with whatever you're creating, with whatever you're diving into. And you kind of have to get back in realignment with yourself to get that clarity. And yeah, it's definitely an internal thing for you. So yeah, there could be some overthinking involved in this. But eventually, I think in June, you're going to reach this sort of breakthrough here with this surrender card. Because you have the Chariot card, so you're definitely off to the races. You're definitely going to be pushed forward into this new journey, which is super exciting. And you're in control of it. But I think the breakthrough is going to rely in surrendering to the situation. And I think that connects back to this containers card where, you know, you're such a perfectionist. You need everything to be perfect. And then you feel like you can move forward, but that's not really how life works out. It's never going to be completely perfect. And again, when inspiration comes, the best way to deal with it is in the moment. So either way, I do see you taking action maybe in the middle of June, middle of the month, potentially. And this is really going to lie in surrender. And I'm seeing these images of the white page as well. And it could be daunting, again, if you're writing something, if you're creating something, creation comes from nothing. You're creating something out of nothing. So it can be a little daunting to start from ground zero, which is why I feel like you're planning so much to go into this next journey, this next stage of your life. But June is really the month that you're going to take initiation with it. So I think that's awesome. I think eventually you're going to realize that action is what you need to gain your clarity. You can sit around and wait for the rest of time, but that'll never make your situation different. It's really going to start changing when you start changing it. So I definitely see you taking action, and definitely see that it's in your control. So you have control over the situation. It's not all out of whack. But yeah, there's definitely things stopping you in the beginning of your journey. And I can tell this is going to be a long journey too that you're embarking on, and sort of a treacherous one as well. And you're not really certain of the future here either. Like, you feel like you're not really standing in your power in the future. The power of this new journey, of this new creation, is sort of on shaky ground. There's not a clear foundation of the future with this new creative project, this new environment you're embarking to. So that's probably why you had to plan so much, I think, and why that's kind of bogging you down. And it's kind of overwhelming and anxiety inducing when you're just thinking of all these possibilities, all these things you want to think about to make the situation perfect. But it's not going to be perfect. It's going to be, crossing treacherous waters here with this Six of Swords. So your future's a little uncertain. You're not really sure where it's going to end up. Your power in that future is sort of out of whack. There's this autumn card here too, which, it's kind of the death of summer. Things will be changing. The leaves are changing. It could also, this autumn card could just signify that you kind of actually set off on this journey around fall time, or you're finally reaching your destination where you're supposed to be by fall time this year. Because again, I think this journey is going to take a while. So, but I do think it's worthwhile. And again, that's because you have the control over it. So I think that's great. But yeah, there's definitely this deeper power within you, this power where you are a leader, you're in control of this situation. But again, it's almost like you don't feel like you're completely capable, like you're completely responsible yet of this situation. I feel like your expectations are super high as well. Like you just might have so much weight on your shoulders with this situation. You feel like, it's all your responsibility to make this situation happen, which is a double-edged sword, because when you embark on a journey to create something or, move somewhere in life, it can come with a lot of strife and feel like it's all on your shoulders, and the energy can weigh down on you, and the responsibility of all that can be a lot to manage and a lot to handle, so I feel like you're struggling with that a little. So be careful with that energy, because it can kind of lead to impulsiveness and almost like a ruthlessness. Like you might feel a little challenged by it, and you have the potential of acting out in the situation, acting out on yourself, acting out on those around you. But this is all to create a better future, and this is definitely a necessary part of your story here. But again, treacherous waters, but you're in control here. So I feel like that responsibility may be weighing heavily on you. Maybe there's others that are dependent on you as well, like maybe your family will be involved in this, you feel, and so you're taking extra responsibility for them because you're kind of whisking them away into this situation too, into these treacherous waters, into this foreign land. And so you might feel a little guilty for that you're causing them pain. So you're putting even more weight on your soldiers, you know. But yeah, I think you need to start believing that you have the power, that you have the energy, and you have the capability to be a leader in this situation and really build this future that you're meant to build. But definitely feel like you think that the future is a little uncertain here, you know, but the universe does want you to proceed with this. It will ultimately be in your favor. And again, if this is a creative project, or even if it's moving to a distant land, whatever it might be, it's ultimately, I think, going to help people. Like, I think it's, you know, all this is rooted in you wanting to help people. And by sharing your story, by having this chapter in your life told, others will read it and others will learn from it, and others may be able to do the same thing you've done and cross these treacherous waters to ultimately reach their goal, you know. But I feel like this has definitely been something that's been weighing down on you for quite some time. Again, you've been contemplating this for a while, and it's finally coming to the point where you just have to do it, you know. And maybe you won't have a choice. Maybe your environment will force you in June to finally chase this, and then you have no choice but to surrender to the situation. Yeah, it's almost like there's these things in your life that are forcing you into uncharted territory, and you have no choice but to surrender to it. Maybe this has been something that's, you know, that you've been delaying. Maybe it's on the other side of the coin. It could be something that that you knew was always coming but didn't want to happen almost. So you've been preparing, and trying to kind of stop this journey from happening in a way, even though you know it's going to happen. Because again, there's this sense of surrender here. So, and I feel like those are the two lessons that I'm hearing right now. And I'm seeing the colors kind of combine here with surrender and your story. They both have this beautiful indigo color. So I'm feeling like that's the higher message here, is you need to surrender to the situation and just let it be. Stop trying to plan, stop trying to figure everything out, and just kind of let it happen. That's where you're going to find the most clarity in this situation. And again, it's going to be a chapter in your story, and this chapter in your story, I think, is going to be very helpful to other people, and it's going to be an interesting chapter for you as well. But again, it's a long journey. You're taking others with you, treacherous waters. It's a big transition, and there's things you're going to have to do away with, so that can definitely be painful, you know. But I think by fall this year, you're going to reach your destination and reach where you were going this entire time, you know. But I'm still hung up on this King of Wands in reverse mixed with the future, you know. I think it's almost like you just don't feel like your future's certain again, and you don't feel like you have power in your future. So I think that mentality needs to be turned around. And again, I think you can go back to this surrender energy with that. And, you know, maybe it's not even worth to think about the future at this point. You just need to surrender to the experience and just let it happen. Maybe you don't have to be in control of your future. Maybe the right things in the right time are just happening right now, and you just got to trust the process in the moment. Yeah, and I wouldn't at this time kind of expect it to turn out a certain way. Don't want to have high expectations on this moment. I think the universe wants you to kind of just live in this moment, exist and experience what's happening, and write your story. Just understand that it's going to be just a blip in the story of your life, even though it might be challenging. It might be a journey that you didn't really want to go on, or a journey that may come with a lot of pain. So, yeah, there's a lot of internal strife here, I think. So cut yourself some slack here. Don't try to put so much pressure on you, because it could ultimately cause you way too much pain and make this journey even more demanding on your soul, on your psyche. So, but I think there's also this energy of deeper calling as well, and it's almost meant to be by the universe. So trust the process, trust the universe has your back. And this might all be connected to this greater divine mechanism that's almost propelling you forward into accomplishing your deeper dreams, desires, and goals. And there is this connection I'm seeing to your deeper calling. And I think this is all part of the plan to eventually manifesting that in some way. So understand that the pain is not meaningless in this situation. It's for a greater divine purpose, and you're doing this for a reason. So definitely remember to surrender to the experience and realize it's okay to not feel like you have your future in control. Because I feel like that's how you think your future is going to look for a while, especially if this isn't going to manifest. You're not going to reach your destination in this situation until fall or autumn. So might feel like your future is just rocky foundation, But all you can really do is just keep rowing forward on the treacherous waters, one row at a time, and just keep moving forward and keep taking this action, and just know that you are in control. I think that's another thing that's grounding this entire situation, is you are in control of this situation. Like if the chariot was upside down, that would kind of make me think more so that it's a situation that you have no control over and you've been dreading, but now I'm back to the mentality that this is a situation that you kind of are manifesting for yourself, but it might come with pain, so you might feel like it could be a gamble, but it might be worth the gamble to end up on a more positive side in your future. So again, realize that the pain is not meaningless. There's meaning within the pain. There's greater purpose within the pain and the strife and the struggle that comes with sailing treacherous waters. And you have a lot of willpower too. Like, I think you're just a very energized person. You're a determined person. If anyone can do it, it is you. So you do have that energy within you. So remember to access that. Remember who you are. Remember that you are this person that can achieve these goals. And then once you set off on the journey, just surrender to the experience and just keep remembering your own power in this situation. Keep remembering your own control when you start freaking out a little about the future. It's in your hands, so there's nothing to worry about. You are in control of the situation. You are in control of your life. All right, cool. So I'm going to move on to the next part of the reading, the final part of the reading. Get some oracle cards drawn for you. So you can think of this in however which way you want. Your higher self, messages from your spirit guides, messages from your ancestors, a message from the universe, spirit guides, spirit tribe, however you want to look at it. So I have so many decks here. that I'm gonna get some cards from. So first, let's do a nice animal spirit. Oh, ooh, one's already popping out. Okay. Beautiful. So made the deck super weird. Okay. I'm gonna take Frequency card from Teal Swan's Frequency deck for this situation. I felt that one. Sweet. I'm gonna take Threads of Fate card. Another beautiful deck. One wanted to jump out. Beautiful. Get some guide cards as well. Oof. Got 2 guide cards. Just needed to pop out. Get a moon card too. Nice moon message for you. Feel that one. And lastly, some angel cards. Oof. And you got 2 angel cards. Oh my gosh. So many messages coming in for you. Lucky you. Interesting. Okay. Let's see what you got. So your animal card is the deer. Interesting. Beautiful. Frequency card is optimism. Threads of Fate. You have the pillar. Clairsentience from your angels. Spread your wings from your angels. Pleasure from your guides, divine goddess. Shame as well. And then confidence is your key to success. Interesting. Yeah, so you have this deer card. So I feel like a lot of this pain might be within your heart. Might be a good idea to lean on your mother. If your mother is still in your life, lean on her in this situation. I feel like you're needing some sort of motherly love here. This could also be the person in a romantic relationship that takes on that mother energy, despite whatever gender they are. I feel like you want to lean on them and they can heal you in this situation. You definitely want to be listening to them with the deer's ears. This is definitely a good month to listen in general to messages that might be coming out, messages from people around you, messages that say it's time to go, time to go on this journey. This could also signify a birth during June too. Maybe a new child is being born in your family, your extended family, or a pregnancy is announced, and now you're on this new journey, which would kind of explain the autumn thing. So that could be something for some of you. But there's definitely this heart healing sort of energy that you need to lean on. There's going to be this beautiful force in your life, I think, that's going to help heal you in this situation. But it could be yourself too. Maybe this is the energy that you need to incorporate, is to heal your heart. Maybe you're not giving yourself the love that you deserve during this situation. You're not giving yourself grace during this difficult situation. So it's time to start doing that. Time to start loving yourself. And I think love is the way through. And this goes with that, this nurturing energy too we got too. The deer very much coincides with nurturing energy. So yeah, another reason that this could be a birth, could be a baby coming into the world, and it's time to nurture. So maybe this isn't a space that you felt like you needed to jump into before, but now you're kind of forced to become this mother energy. But either way, I think this energy is what's going to heal the situation. But remember to keep your ears open for the messages, for things you need to hear, for the love that you need to receive. We also have optimism here too. So optimism is, I think, an energy that you definitely need to incorporate in this situation, because you're kind of pessimistic about the future. You're not really bringing optimism into this situation. You're not thinking that the ideal outcome of the situation will happen. So by doing that, you're not technically manifesting that outcome, the positive outcome. By being pessimistic, you're kind of just staying where you are. You're not growing. Your mind isn't growing. Your heart isn't growing. And so you need to flip the table on that and bring optimism into the situation, because ultimately I think that's going to help you surpass these challenges in the next few months on this journey that you're embarking on June. You need to be optimistic that it's all going to work out, because I think, again, since it's such a long journey, you don't want to be beating yourself up about it over and over and over. So definitely take optimism into the situation. And 30 might be a meaningful number to you. Maybe you're turning 30. Maybe something will happen on the 30th June. Oh yeah, that's the last day of June. So yeah, I'm just saying. But again, with this pillar card, same message is coming through. You need to walk through this pillar, walk through this new stage in life. The universe is inviting you to walk through this next chapter. It's giving you the path forward as well. It's almost divinely inspired. So you need to trust the process and move forward, because I think the path is paved before you. While it may be treacherous waters, there is a clear path. Whether or not you might not see the future or not, right now it is, the universe wants you to step forward through the pillar, through this portal into this new life. Ultimately, it's in your best favor, even though it might not feel like it, even though it might come with a lot of pain. We have clairsentience as well. Archangel Regel. Notice your recurring physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance. So definitely trust your feelings here, whether they're physical or emotional. So this could be linked to a medical issue. Maybe there's some symptoms that you've been experiencing that you've been wanting clarity on, and I think you need to trust those feelings at this point. I think if that's how this is manifesting for you, for those of you out there, you definitely need to go to the doctor at this point. Maybe that's the next journey you're going on, and searching, these treacherous waters for answers. And you've been so caught up in researching and overanalyzing the situation that you just haven't been able to get the help you deserve. So definitely don't ignore these physical issues. That's one message coming through if that resonates with you. And if not, you have noticed your recurring emotional feelings. So there's been some things that have been coming up over and over and over and over. So I think those are worth analyzing. What feelings keep coming up? And those are the ones I think you need to realize that you need to remedy, because they can't be holding you back so much during this new journey. And again, I think giving yourself self-love, self-grace, allowing yourself to be healed by this mother energy, mixed with this optimism, is exactly what you need to listen to. So definitely trust your feelings on this situation too. I think it's definitely going to help you along this journey to trust your gut, trust your feelings, because again, I think you are in control of this situation. So there is going to be some pleasure in this situation too, which is almost mixed with shame. So there's like this weird dichotomy happening now both of these cards have divine in them as well. So feel like you're on this journey of healing, and there's this energy of shame within it for some reason. It's almost like what you're getting pleasure from, you feel like you should not be. You feel shame from it when you shouldn't. But there are indications that it is divine. So the universe wants you to let go of this shame. Again, right next to this optimism card, start seeing the positive benefit to it. Don't deny yourself this pleasure. Don't deny yourself pleasure in this new journey that you're going to wander into. The number 9 and 35 are coming up as well, if that means anything to you. Confidence is the key to your success as well with this new moon in Leo. So it's almost like this whole nother way you're going to start looking at yourself, and you're coming into this new found sense of confidence, which is so beautiful. And it's the lion, so you are this leader. You're the leader of the pack here. And maybe you've never stepped into this leadership position before, but it's divine. So let go of this shame from the past and start feeling pleasure in leading this moment and having control of this moment and creating it for yourself. And spread your wings. Archangel Ariel, do not hold back right now. The timing is perfect and you are ready to soar. So yeah, it's time to spread your wings and go into this journey. I feel like there's so much mental blockages holding you back, but your body is moving forward. Like your physical body is moving forward into this new journey, but there's all these mental blockages holding you back. Let go of the shame, let go of the pessimism in this. Find the pleasure, find the love in the situation. Allow yourself to receive love from those around you, and allow yourself to give it too. But yeah, you're a natural born leader here. And if you've never been that, if you feel like you never have, maybe that's a reason you feel like you can't move forward into this situation. Don't think of that. That's another form of pessimism. That's another form of shame. You do have this leader within you, and now you have this perfect opportunity to spread your wings. And again, it's divinely inspired. There's so many signs saying that this is meant to be. And, the universe is giving you these pillars to walk through, and you need to walk through it with confidence. The timing is perfect and you're ready to soar. So yeah, I really hope this helped. I'm excited to see what happens by fall. You'll have to let me know. Okay, cool. I'll leave it there for your reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to do a personal reading with me to get a little deeper, tell me more about your situation so I can get more specific answers, hit me up. My contact is in the video description. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. The interaction really helps me keep this channel alive so you can get more free readings. And thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you the best of luck. This has been Rainbow Moon. What's up, deck number 4? Welcome to your reading. Alright, so as you remember, the card you chose, or the deck you chose rather, was the deck with this beautiful goldstone, which is technically a fake crystal, but it's okay because it's super beautiful and very sparkly. Alright, so the way this is going to work is I'm going to do some traditional tarot first and use some clarifier cards on another deck, and then we're going to end the reading with some beautiful oracle cards. Happy June. Happy Pride to those of you that celebrate. All right, let's see what you got. Deck number 4 for June 2025. We have the Devil. We have the Emperor. We have the World. We have Knight of Pentacles in reverse. And then we have the Fool upright. Interesting. All right, let's get some clarifying cards too. We have Root Chakra, Manifestation, chameleon, summer, and we have earth. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So in the month of June, seems like you'll be dealing with some vices, some manipulations, things that are holding you back. You know, there might be some depression starting out, some addiction, just this feeling of restriction. So you're definitely starting out things with a blockage, and it's aligned with the root chakra. So this is something that's kind of affecting your body, potentially. So maybe you're kind of consuming some things that aren't necessarily healthy. Maybe you're overeating, over consumption of alcohol, smoking too much weed, whatever it might be. I think you're putting some things in your body that aren't really serving you. So they're kind of throwing off your foundation, and yeah, they're kind of manifesting as addictions. So you're almost restricted by them, tied down by them, and I'm sorry about that. And yeah, there needs to be some sort of change. There needs to be some sort of ending to this situation. After that, though, you're coming into this Emperor energy, and that's way, way better. It's way more healthier energy. So I feel like you're coming to a breaking point with these addictive tendencies. So that's actually a huge positive for you. I mean, ultimately, there's a huge positive trajectory happening in June. It just happens to start out, I think, with this devil energy. And I feel like these addictions have been holding you back for quite a while. And yeah, they've just been causing you to have poor health. But I think you're finally realizing that you need to let that go and breaking the chains of this addiction. And by the way, this also doesn't have to mean physically. I'm only really saying that because of the root chakra. This could stem from something more spiritually. Maybe you're surrounding yourself with people that don't bring the best out of you, that bring your energy down. Maybe you're in an environment that doesn't really support you, support your soul. The root is the base of our chakra system, and everything goes up from there. So everything kind of trickles down. So everything is connected in that sense. So whether it's not a physical thing that you're dealing with, addicted to, it could also be mental. Maybe it's distractions. You're addicted to some sort of distraction in your life, some sort of mental blockage that's connected to addiction. Perhaps it's people that you're addicted to that are affecting your health and your body. But yeah, I mean, this addiction is holding you back from a lot of growth. It's holding you back from manifestation. There's a lot of nature energy coming through too. So I feel like you might have been kind of bottled up in your room almost, and kind of self-isolating too. Maybe that's where your addiction lies. You're just not getting sunlight. Yeah, but you definitely need to be remembering to water yourself. And by water, I don't just mean drink water. I mean, you need to give yourself the proper nourishment, proper food, but that doesn't just mean food. That also means the proper spiritual practice, whatever that looks like for you. Surrounding yourself with good people, getting outside, surrounding yourself in a healthy environment, focusing on healthier things, focusing things that help you grow. So it's unfortunate to see that you're being held down in the beginning of June here by that. But what is fortunate is that there's so much more positivity coming your way. So I think you're going to have a pretty, I don't want to say easy wake-up call, because this could have been a long time coming, but it seems like you're going to just realize pretty quickly that this is not serving you and make a very quick change. I think it's more so indicating a quick change, because you have the Emperor. So I feel like you have this fiery passion energy that's going to start emerging, this beautiful Aries energy that is just an initiator. And I feel like you're going to be able to heal this root chakra super fast. Maybe you start working out suddenly, whatever that looks like for you. You cut out these negative people, you cut out these negative, toxic mental patterns, these things that are negatively affecting you spiritually, just not adding high vibrations into your emotional spectrum, your frequency, your energetic circle. And you're going to be sitting on a throne. You're going to be coming into your power here pretty easily and making that switch. And what that's going to allow you to do is start manifesting things in your life. So maybe this addictive blockage was causing you to not create, not move towards your goals, your dreams, your desires. It seems like once you give out these addictive tendencies, which it seems like you're pretty conscious of, like you almost probably know what I'm talking about when you're hearing this already. And you're going to be able to come out of it pretty fast. So I think that's a big testament to your strength as a person and your drive as a person. So that's something to be proud of. It really is like a night and day sort of switch here into this Emperor. So you might be stepping up. You might be stepping up more as a father figure in your life if you're a parent. And that doesn't have to mean that you are a man, you identify as a man, whatever gender you are, it doesn't matter. You're just adding this masculine energy into your life. So maybe you were kind of lost in your feelings for so long and just kind of riding that emotional wave and feeling lost in it. But now you're adding this masculine energy to your life. So it's a lot of doing, it's a lot of action, inspired action. So that's awesome. And it's going to help you really start manifesting things that I feel like were on your mind for a while. But I think there's a big variety to the things you're manifesting too. So yeah, you're going to start creating things and you're going to start taking back your power in your life, and take up your place in the universe. Like you're sitting on your chair and you're fully back into your power. So that's pretty cool to see. You're also adding more structure back into your life. So that's awesome. Yeah, like this creation is just adding back the things that you were missing, that these addictive tendencies were throwing out of whack. So you're definitely going to become a healthier person. And then you're transitioning into this world, this chameleon kind of energy. So it's almost like the world is your oyster here, and you're not just rebalancing your own masculine energy, you're balancing everything, every aspect of yourself. And I think you're almost completing something that has been a long time coming. So maybe you're letting these things bog you down for so long, and maybe you started a project and you never finished it. So now you're able to finish this project. I think you're also going to be able to wear a lot of hats in this situation with this chameleon card. So you're able to fill a bunch of roles and also change yourself to mold the specific situation. So you're able to be anything you need to be to accomplish your goals and to set your life forward here. Know that you are protected during this as well when you're starting to manifest this new life, and you could be traveling too. There's so much like interesting nature imagery here with these clarifying cards. I feel like, you're finally going outside, smelling the roses, so to say, letting yourself be inspired by nature. It's going to be super healing. But yeah, at this point, I think the world is going to become your oyster, and you're just so balanced, and you're so connected to the divine. You're so connected to your physical body. You are really feeling complete. You're feeling content in life, feeling like everything is kind of working out, and it's pretty great. So then you have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, though. So I feel like it's almost like you've completed something that you were meant to complete, and then there's almost this tendency to like fall back into that previous addictive pattern. Maybe a part of you only wanted to complete it so you can stop feeling bad, so you could stop feeling guilty about doing the things that you were kind of doing in excess. Because what is addiction? It's doing something too much. Maybe something that wouldn't necessarily be too unhealthy if you just did it in a normal amount. But again, addiction is in excess. So you could almost be using this new thing you're manifesting, this new thing you're completing, as a way to go back into these addictive tendencies. So there's a risk there with that. But I feel like what you're creating is going to take you into the summer. So it's going to be a while that you're going through this, that you're on this new journey. And this completion isn't technically over until summer. But yeah, just be careful not to go back into those addictive tendencies here. But you are creating something that will put you on a journey into summer. But yeah, there's going to be some challenges with that, I think, in terms of maybe getting resources for something, maybe running into slight financial struggles with it, maybe not having a place to sleep at some point, not knowing where you're going, like, because again, this could indicate travel. So maybe the hotel falls through, something like that. The Airbnb falls through, whatever it is you use. Yeah, but I think you're going to be held back again at some point, kind of go back to these addictive tendencies and stop being so productive. But you don't have to fall into that timeline. Tarot readings aren't certain. Tarot readings just tell you what's in the cards for your path right now. But at the end of the day, you have the power to change reality, to change the future. So this is only a blip of what will happen right now. So now that you're aware of these addictive tendencies and how much they're kind of holding you back, that gives you more power with them. Because I think you are creating something beautiful here. That's a long time coming. And it does give you this beautiful sense of fulfillment in life and completion in life. And you are a natural born leader. You're someone who is just very strong. You have this beautiful masculine energy within you. And don't let these addictive tendencies draw you back, because there's a greater purpose. But yeah, I keep getting this idea of travel. So I feel like, maybe in order to get away from these addictions, you feel like it's best to go somewhere new. Maybe in the summer, you plan a trip for the summer. But I definitely see that these addictions really affected your root chakra, what makes you human, your physical body. So it's almost like you're back on this path of healing that. And I think reconnecting with the earth is what's going to help you in this situation. Because we do have the Fool here, so that's another indication that you're going to go on this long journey. But, the Fool, while it is the first card in the tarot, it's almost the opposite of the worlds. You know, you have the first and the last card of the major arcana here of the traditional tarot. So you've completed something, but then you're starting something again completely from the beginning. I wonder if these addictions really came into this thing you're creating, whether it, again, doesn't have to be a creative project. It can be a new lifestyle, a new environment, something you're traveling to. But there's definitely something that kind of holds you back, something that gets you stuck, gets you in a loop, you know? So kind of rebalance yourself here. Know that these addictions might stop you from chasing this dream forward. And Earth is definitely going to be a healing factor for you. So go out, go hike, feel the air, feel the sun, whatever you have to do. There's a lot of, again, a lot of indications of travel. So I definitely think if you're thinking of going on a trip, it might be the good thing to do to get out of this environment. And maybe it is about the environment too. Like that's another good way to remedy an addiction, I think, is to change your environment, because maybe that environment is affecting this addiction. Maybe it's the people in that environment that are affecting this. But there's definitely this sense of innocence too when you're starting this new thing. So there's going to be some things maybe you're not aware of in the new thing, and maybe you're not aware that when you start these new projects, start these new adventures in your life, whatever this looks like for you, that you might have a tendency to fall into the addiction from starting these new journeys, these new adventures, these new projects, hanging around these new people, whatever it is. So it's almost like your double-edged sword. Like while this thing does bring you fulfillment, does make you feel whole and complete, does help you manifest things and create things into this life, there is another side of the coin where you might fall into some addictions, addictive tendencies within it, and that ultimately is throwing you off balance, affecting your root, and disconnecting you from the divine, disconnecting you from your innate masculine energy, which does help you manifest. So definitely be aware of that. But yeah, I really do think you should travel. The universe definitely wants you to do that. I think there's lessons to learn. You could be going somewhere tropical. I'm getting a lot of tropical energy here. So if you've been looking for a reason to like go to Bali or something, take this as the reason. But nonetheless, I think that sort of tropical energy could be something to explore if you're needing a push with that energy in some way. Yeah, but you really are a powerful masculine person, and that's a pretty rare energy to have in this life. But remember, that does go hand in hand right next to your addictions. The Emperor is sitting right next to the devil, so definitely be careful of that. But yeah, there's also, with this Knight of Pentacles, I feel like I should point out, with that kind of comes boredom, like feeling stuck, being like a perfectionist almost, and having like no game plan, you know. So definitely make sure you're planning for the future. You don't have just lackadaisical ideas with the Fool here, you know, like those energies are kind of going hand in hand, where make sure you have a clear path forward and a clear plan forward, or else you're not really walking towards anything. So make sure you have a destination before you start traveling, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think to coincide, to remedy this feeling of boredom, instead of choosing these addictions, choose this new adventure, choose to travel, choose to experience the world. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, the world, like another indication that you could be traveling here. So, and if this isn't really something about traveling for you, if that doesn't resonate with you, I think this could also be about connecting your life more with the world around you. Like you might have been self-isolating and you really need to get out and start interacting with people more, join a club, start joining a new organization, whatever that looks like for you, go back to school. go to the gym, whatever you can do to feel more of a sense of community out in the world. Start learning about other cultures, learning about other people. I think that's going to help you feel more connected to your purpose here, to whatever you're creating. So you're definitely going to be stepping into more of a sense of worldliness. So just becoming more cross-cultural, even learning about things that are outside your general environment. So I think that's pretty cool. All right, so now I just want to get some more cards to end this off. Some oracle cards. So you can think of this as however you want. Messages from your guides, messages from your spirit tribe, your higher self, your ancestors, the universe, God. However you want to look at it, doesn't really matter. First, I'll get some cards from my animal deck here. Oop, we already had one pop out. Then I'll get a card from this frequency deck, Teal Swan's frequency deck. One of my favorites. Great. Then let's get some angel card. Everyone's been getting 2 pop out. Let's see how much you get. Ooh. My God, you also got 2. That's so crazy. Every deck has gotten 2 angel cards so far. All right, and then let's get some guide cards too. And you got 2. And then I'll throw in a Thread of Fate card. All right. Let me just organize these a little better. All right. Let's see what you got. So your animal card is the owl. Interesting. Then you got alchemy, number 70, the frequency deck. Angel cards, brilliant idea. Angel card, beloved one. And then you got new life, divine mother. Deprivation, prosperity guides. And reflect. Interesting. Yeah, so I feel like there's a sense of learning here with the owl. I think learning is going to be transformative for you. I think there's some wisdom that's waiting for you. I think you might have an interest in just deeper topics that the average person might not really be interested in. And I think that's where you find your success. There's some sort of thing that you're trying to figure out and get this click moment of, yes, that's the idea. I do think this involves research. I think you need to get into some study some, again, connecting back with that world card, these worldly cultures, potentially just searching for something outside of yourself. Maybe even some more esoteric ideas, some ideas that are not so much the cultural norm, but they do bring clarity to your situation. Stuff that isn't really your average stuff to research. But you're creating alchemy here. I think you're creating something very unique. I think you're creating something very important too. I think it's going to require some reflection, though. There is some internal aspect with this where you need to realize something about yourself that coincides with this deeper knowledge that you're researching, but there's definitely this urge to learn something. That could definitely be helpful to what you're creating. because you are creating something beautiful. And by creating this, you are transforming yourself too. So it's not something that lives outside of yourself. Even though it might transform and help other people around you, it is transforming yourself for the better as well. I would also utilize the nighttime. That could be helpful to you. That's just something coming through. But I think you are going to get this moment of like, aha, this moment of clarity here, especially with this brilliant idea card here, which is just such a fun one to get. Archangel Uriel, yes, your idea is divinely guided. Please take action to bring your idea to fruition. Yeah, so those, it's funny how those three cards are right next to each other too, because they all kind of coincide energetically. So this heavy research is going to help you alchemize and create and manifest something brilliant, a brilliant idea. And it is divinely guided. It's backed by the universe, so it's meant to be. So if you've been looking for that push to finally do this heavy research into something to eventually make it your own, to manifest what you're out here to manifest, use this as a sign to finally go into it. But again, I think it's going to take some careful research and some self-study here with this reflect card. So don't take yourself out of this picture. Make sure you're in this picture too when you're creating, because you are a part of it just as much as everyone else that you're making it for. Beloved one, Archangel Shamil, I am helping you with your spiritual soulmate relationship. And then we also have New Life and Divine Mother here as well. So yeah, you might be coming into a soulmate that's going to help you along this journey as well. Maybe some of your addictive tendencies have been addictive people that aren't really serving your best good, serving more of this addictive side to you. You're addicted to the toxicity in a way. But it seems like this great person is going to come into your life, and you could potentially meet a soulmate during June. Whether that's romantic or not, this could be a partnership as well. So definitely look in your life when you're creating this, or when you're thinking of going on this new journey for yourself. Who could I take with me? Who is this person for myself? Who is my soulmate? Because I do think they're going to help you in this situation. And there also might be a birth in June as well. So someone might become a new mother. There's new life sprouting. But if that doesn't resonate with you, I think this coincides with this creation energy. Like, you are bringing something new to life. You're creating something from nothing. You're almost creating gold out of your dirty situation. And I'm just trying not to curse, but because alchemy, you're creating something not beautiful, raw materials, I should say, into gold. So yeah, I think it's definitely a good idea to lean on some ancient knowledge here and do some deep research on the topic, so you can really manifest something brilliant. Be careful not to have this deprivation mentality, though. You might have a chance to have a lack mentality, and you don't really want to go into this with that. You want to go into this with the opposite mentality, which would be abundance. So you want to feel that you have everything you need to manifest this into fruition. So just be careful that you're not taking any of these negative, stagnant energies that might have been related to that addiction into this new thing that you're creating, this new journey you're going on. This is beautiful, though. I think in June you are going to have this epiphany, this aha moment. Once you start to self-analyze yourself and take action in your life and start manifesting what you want to do, the universe is clearly conspiring in your favor. And this is going to transform you for the better as well. But again, just be aware of these addictive tendencies. Just be aware that this might be the same side of the coin. This might be completely latched onto this because when something is this divined by the universe and this meant to be, there's going to be nefarious energies that want to hold you back, because ultimately this is something that's going to change the world and change yourself. So whenever you're doing something that big, that grandiose, there's going to be even bigger forces at play that try to take you away from that, you know? So be aware that when you're going on this new journey, creating this new project, whatever that is, there's going to be equal amounts of pushback to it. So now that you're aware of it, though, then you can actually take action on it and you have more power over it. So that's just something you definitely need to know before walking into this. But I'm excited to see what you're manifesting here. It definitely looks beautiful. And again, it might be involving interesting cultures, it might be involving traveling to interesting places, might be understanding new knowledge, esoteric knowledge even, just knowledge that isn't usually common, rare knowledge. So this is very unique, very interesting, but yeah, this is something important. So don't let yourself get held back by this so you can properly manifest. And yeah, I'm excited for you. Well, I will leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want more of a personal reading from me, I can go a little deeper if you give me more information on your situation. I do personal readings right now, so hit me up in my video description. But if not, totally fine. If you can, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps with the interaction and the algorithm, all that. And it makes these videos free. So thank you so much. Appreciate you tuning in. This has been Rainbow Moon.